Hi, everyone. I wanted to quickly jump on and share. I wanted to share what AIP is and what Trim Healthy Mama is, because I noticed when people were coming into the group that some people knew about Trim Healthy Mama but didn't know about AIP, or maybe you've heard of it, but aren't doing one or the other. So I thought I'd quickly explain. I'm not going to get like too deep into the science of AIP. I suggest you like do your research and look into why it's so important and why it's so healing. But I will give you some resources and where you can look for that. And then Trim Healthy Mama, it is super healing to your body. It takes out really those super high glycemic foods that raise your blood sugar, and it stabilizes your blood sugar throughout the day. So, and with protein at every meal. So I'm going to explain the two very quickly, and then at least it would give you an idea. I do recommend too for Trim Healthy Mama that you read the book in depth, whether it's the audio book or reading the actual book and kind of getting an idea, but I will give you an overview. So let me share my screen. Okay. Okay, so let me get out of this. So first of all, let's go to what AIP is. So I recommend going to Sarah Ballantyne's, the Paleo Moms blog. That's kind of what we're following here during the 31-day challenge. So going to her blog and what the autoimmune protocol is, that's what AIP stands for. And she really goes into different autoimmune diseases, what the root cause of the autoimmune diseases are. She goes into the immune system and how that plays a role. She also talks about gut health and inflammatory foods and how that all plays into everything, and nutrients. But basically AIP is a plan that takes out all the inflammatory foods out of your body, like the highly inflammatory foods. So those are like gluten, dairy, eggs, soy, nuts, grains, legumes. I'll go down and we can talk about more about what those are. But you taking those out and then putting in nutrient dense foods. So organ meats. I'd have to get the list. But okay, so here's some of the foods that you can avoid. So trans fat, chemical additives, artificial coloring and flavorings, high fructose corn syrup, which Trim Healthy Mama already cuts that out. Grains, legumes, dairy, let's see, eggs, nuts, seeds, nightshades, alcohol, coffee, refined vegetable oils, and then sugar substitutes. And that is okay on Trim Healthy Mama. It's not okay on AIP, just so we clarify that. I know some people's protocols do call for that, but this one that we're going to be following does not allow for that. So, and then of course, refined sugars, but not the sugar substitutes either. So no stevia or monk fruit or gentle sweet or any of those things. While you're eliminating, you can bring that back and see how your body adjusts. So AIP is not, she even says it in here, it's not a life sentence. It's to help you eliminate foods that are inflammatory and to add them back to see how your body reacts to them. So when I did this, I did it for 6 weeks, and then I would reintroduce a food, and then I would wait 2 days, see how I felt, and then I would reintroduce another food. I didn't think that was long enough, and I honestly wish that I could go back, and I am, obviously, this month I'm going back and trying again, because I've kept gluten and dairy, corn, and soy out completely, besides on occasion. But I wish that I would have did it where I reintroduced one thing for a week to see how my symptoms were. Because I noticed, like, after a few days of I'd have eggs, I'd feel fine, and then after a few days, I'd start to get these really bad headaches. So it was like it hit my body like way later on, and I don't know why. So then I would cut them out again. So that's another food that I've rarely had over the past year. So I would maybe do it one food a week and do it more slowly. And some people do it longer than the 5 weeks that we're going to do it. They do it for 30, or they do it for 60 or 90 days. And then they start reintroducing, because it gives your gut and your body more time to heal. So going down in this article, she also explains how it works, having nutrient-dense foods like organ meats, vitamins, minerals, fatty acids, amino acids, all of that. Talks about the gut health, how it regulates our hormones, how we regulate our immune system again. And how my doctor explained it is that it's like little holes in our gut that in the gut is not, it's supposed to be tight, and it loosens and opens up. So there's little holes and particles go into our bloodstream. They're getting through those little holes and they go into our bloodstream in our body. And then our body starts to attack itself because it thinks it's an invader. So that's how he explained it. Again, I am not a doctor. I don't know. I suggest doing your own research and making sure you know the science behind it. But that's how my doctor explained it to me. So again, so organ meats, eating organ meats, fish, shellfish, vegetables of all kinds, and lots of vegetables. They say 8+ servings a day. I know that's a lot. Leafy green vegetables, colorful vegetables and fruit. Let's see, roots. So they allow cassava and some of the like root vegetables that we on Trim Healthy Mama do not eat. So this is something you have to decide. I know some people will just come off of Trim Healthy Mama during the elimination phase and they will, eat the cassava and they'll make the treats and whatever and use honey and maple syrup. That's something that you have to decide. I don't care if you're in our group and you're, just doing AIP, but the group is to help you do Trim Healthy Mama and AIP together so that you can get the best results. So it is combining the two, which means no cassava, and there's some other things that aren't allowed on the Trim Healthy Mama plan. But mushrooms, getting quality meats like grass-fed, pasture-raised, wild as much as possible. And then fruit, but in fruit, you want to keep your fructose intake to 10 to 40 grams daily. 20 grams is optimal. So I would keep that in mind. They say to get as many probiotic fermented foods in. So you can get, you can do kombucha, that's on Trim Healthy Mama, the water kefir, coconut milk kefir. If you like to make the kefir smoothies that Trim Healthy Mama has, or the kefir shakes, you can do that with coconut milk kefir. I have not done that yet. I have tried doing the coconut milk, but I don't love it. But you try around and play around with foods and figure out what is best for you. And then, okay, so the things that you want to remove are grains, legumes, dairy, processed sugar and oils, eggs, nuts, seeds, coffee, nightshades. So you can have sweet potatoes, but you can't have regular white potatoes. Plus on Trim Healthy Mama, you can't have regular white potatoes. And then if you click on these, if you come into this article and click on these, it'll give you the cross-reactive foods. You're not going to want to have alcohol or aspirin or ibuprofen. And then sweeteners, so like stevia, monk fruit, I already said that. And then thickeners and emulsifiers, which some of those are on Trim Healthy Mama. So you just have to make sure that you're keeping those out too. So she has some great like diagrams here of what all the foods are. So I do recommend going in here and seeing all this. So she does say to have moderate fructose, salt. She also says in this article to make sure you're managing your stress during this elimination phase, that you're getting enough sleep and really healing your body in all areas. So get some yoga in, get, the stretching, and maybe not do so many intense exercises during this time. I know that's like super hard for me because I love high intensity interval training. And so I'm just going to take it down a notch a little bit, and I'm still going to work out, but I'm going to do it in a healing way for my adrenals and my body. So she also says black and green tea are okay. 3 to 4 cups per day is okay for most people. Oh my gosh. Like, I think that's so much. I only have a cup in the morning and that's it. So, and then natural honey and blackstrap molasses, which, you can have on Trim Healthy Mama. It's the Whole Foods Trim Healthy Mama. But I would limit that and keep it in moderate amounts, like she says. So that is kind of, and then she talks about the elimination and reintroduction and how to do that. So that's all in here. And I really suggest that you go through this and read through this resource. So that is AIP. I didn't go into all the science, so do your research. And then I made and this is in the files section, I made a food list that's all AIP compliant foods and Trim Healthy Mama compliant foods with their fuels next to them. So you can look on this. There are, let's see, there are some convenience things like store-bought items. I love the chopsticks, so you can get those. Gelatin and collagen are super healing for your body. Olives, if you can find, the Aldi brand has good olives that you can get. So there are a few things. I love the coconut aminos. The Trim Healthy Mama brand of nutritional yeast is great. Let's see. So, and then I put, the foods that aren't allowed. So that is in there. And then I'm going to pull up some of the numbers and what the basics of Trim Healthy Mama. So to go over it in very general terms, you want to center all your meals with protein. You want to replace sugars and flours with healthier alternatives. Although on AIP, you can have coconut flour, which is both Trim Healthy Mama and AIP, but you can't have almonds or nuts. So you can't really have those treats that we're also blessed to have on Trim Healthy Mama. So you're not going to be able to have those. Trim Healthy Mama separates fuels with 3 hours apart. So I say 3 to 4 hours, but 3 hours apart. So make sure that you have a plan for your week. Like, what time am I going to eat my snacks? What time am I going to eat my meals? Making sure they're 3 hours apart. So one meal you have an S meal, which is your fats meals, your satisfying fats meals. One and centered with protein. And I always say have veggies on your plate. That's what the sisters always say. And then an e-meal, so 3 hours apart, then you'd have your e-meal, which is your carbs meal. So a lean protein with some kind of carb source, which in our case is either fruit for AIP or sweet potatoes. Really, those are the higher carb sources. And then you can have FP meals, which are fuel pull. So it's less than 5 grams of fat and less than 10 grams of carbs. So you can have those meals too. Okay. The Trim Healthy Mama numbers. Let me pull that up. So you will probably find that you will do a lot of crossovers, but you don't have to. And that is why we have this group. I'm going to try to not do crossovers during this time. So I'm going to separate my S's from my E's and not do the crossovers, which is hard. So you have to adjust recipes a little bit. Even in my meal plan, I have meals that are crossovers. So adjust, take out the carb source in it if you don't want to fall under crossover land. But crossovers are 40 net carbs with a good amount of fats. You don't have, it's over 5 grams of fat. You don't have to, they say unlimited, but remember, you don't have to go crazy with fats. So that's what a crossover is. An S helper is 15 net carbs and unlimited fats. And I had another thing pulled up and now I can't find it. Okay. Let me see if I can pull it up. Okay. So the other numbers. So an S meal is unlimited fats with less than 10 net grams of carbs. An E meal is 45 net carbs and less than 5 grams of fat. And then again, FP is less than 5 grams of fat and less than 10 grams of carbs. There are food lists. Again, I would get the book for Trim Healthy Mama. I'm not really going to go into what's approved on Trim Healthy Mama and what's not. But they do replace like white flour or almond flour or the whey mixture, like the baking blend that Trim Healthy Mama has. those kind of, and coconut flour, those kind of flours versus the higher glycemic flours, the ones that raise your blood sugar. And then same with sugar. So not not regular refined sugar, but having like stevia or erythritol or xylitol. So just make sure that you're aware of the Trim Healthy Mama basics and to the AIP basics so that you can combine the two. So I hope this helps you. I'm not going super in depth in this video. So I just wanted to give you guys like a quick overview of what AIP is and what Trim Healthy Mama is so that you're ready to go with this challenge. So I hope that this is helpful, and I hope that you guys are successful in this 31 days. All right. Thank you guys.